You don't need one big budget to make a bedroom look finished. You need a handful of the right small pieces, placed correctly. I've helped put together more thrifted bedroom makeovers than I can count, and the same 7 finds keep showing up in the rooms that end up looking the most expensive. One of these is the single piece that decides whether the rest of the room reads as collected or cluttered. It costs about $20. These are 7 thrifted finds that can transform a bedroom for under $75 total, counting up from the smallest to the one that ties everything together. Stay for number 7. It's the piece every other item on this list depends on. Number 1, the metal wall sign. It's easy to walk past wall signs in a thrift store. They feel like filler, the kind of thing you grab last once you've already found the real decor. Here's what most people don't expect. A single, well-placed sign kills a blank wall faster than almost anything else, because it gives the eye one clear point to land on instead of scanning empty space. The trick is picking one with texture or dimension, metal, embossed, something with depth rather than a flat print, so it holds its own even before the rest of the wall fills in. In one bedroom I helped pull together, the only wall decor for weeks was a $2 metal sign found in the very first thrift store visited. It also solved a problem nobody had planned for, a house cat that had already shredded every paper poster in the room. Here's the fix. Check the clearance or as-is bins first. Metal signs get marked down fast because they don't move as quickly as framed art. $2 to $5 is a completely normal price if you look there before anywhere else. But the next find is the one that actually lights the room, not just decorates it. Number 2, the stained glass accent lamp. Lamps without a working bulb socket feel like a pass. Why buy something you can't turn on? But here's the thing nobody mentions. A stained glass lamp turned off still throws color and texture just sitting on a surface in daylight. The real value shows up at night. Warm, colored light through glass creates the kind of ambient pool a single overhead bulb can never replicate. It's the difference between a room that's lit and a room that feels lived in. In a different bedroom search, a $15 version turned out not to open for a bulb at all. Skipping it paid off. A nearly identical one, fully working, turned up 2 days later for $5 at another store entirely. Here's the fix. Don't buy the first lamp you see. Check the socket, ask staff if it opens, and if it doesn't work, keep moving. There's almost always a working duplicate for less at the next stop.
Number 3, dollar bin knickknacks grouped in odd numbers. A single $1 trinket feels almost pointless on its own, too small to matter. The trick isn't the object, it's the cluster. 3 small objects of different heights, grouped together rather than spread out, read as a curated collection. The same 3 objects lined up evenly along a shelf read as leftover clutter. Nothing about the objects changes, only the arrangement does. One shelf styling I did used 5 separate dollar bin pieces, a small figure, a couple of trinket dishes, a tiny object with no real purpose, all bought over different visits, all $1 each. Grouped together, they looked like a deliberate collection instead of 5 random finds. Here's the fix. Buy in odd numbers, vary the height when you place them, and let one piece slightly overlap another. 5 items, $5, and it reads like a display instead of a pile. The next find is the one most people would walk straight past on a clearance rack, and it's where the bigger transformations start.
Number 4, the marked-down accent rack. Full-price accent furniture, rocks, small stands, anything decorative but not essential, is usually the first thing people skip on a tight budget. But post-holiday clearance racks exist for exactly this reason, and the markdowns are steep enough to make non-essential pieces suddenly affordable. A rack like this turns clutter, bags, jewelry, scarves, into a display instead of a mess. The function is storage. The result reads as styling. One hanging rack, originally priced near $45, sat untouched for weeks until it was marked down after December 11th to just over $12. Same piece, same quality, less than a third of the price. The only difference was timing. Here's the fix. Shop consignment and thrift stores right after a major holiday. A markdown tag with a date on it means the price drops again soon. Check back or ask staff when the next cut happens. Number 5, the vintage-style nightstand. It's tempting to keep using whatever is already next to the bed, even if it doesn't fit. A leftover kids' table or a mismatched box sitting there far longer than it should. Here's what actually justifies the swap. A nightstand isn't just storage, it's the surface that sets the tone for everything on top of it, lamp included. A plain, low table makes even a nice lamp look mismatched. A nightstand with some carved detail or curve gives that surface, the lamp, the little tray, somewhere that actually looks intentional instead of temporary. In one bedroom, a $5 nightstand with simple curved detail replaced a plastic kids' table that had been doing the job for months. Cheaper than a takeout order, and it changed how every other piece on top of it looked. Here's the fix. Don't hold out for a perfect nightstand. A simple wood piece with any carved or curved detail in the $5 to $15 range will outperform a plain flat table every time, once it's styled. Number 6 isn't decor at all. It's the reason every lamp on this list is actually usable at night. Stay with me. Number 6. Remote control tea lights. Buying several thrifted lamps without bulbs sounds like a problem, not a solution. How do you light something with no working socket? The answer isn't rewiring every lamp. It's skipping electricity altogether. A set of battery tea lights with a shared remote solves the exact failure point of thrifted lighting. None of it needs to be wired, and all of it turns on at once instead of lamp by lamp, which is the real reason most people give up and never actually light their thrifted finds. One room ended up with 4 separate thrifted lamps, none of them wired to work. A single $10 set of remote tea lights fixed all 4 at once. One click, and every lamp in the room lit up together. Here's the fix. Buy tea lights in bulk with a shared remote rather than individual battery candles. It turns a shelf of non-functional lamps into a fully lit display for one flat cost. And that brings us to the piece I mentioned at the very start. Number 7. The corner statement hutch. This is the piece teased at the beginning, a small corner hutch or any single larger anchor piece. And the reason it's last is that every other item on this list needs it to actually work. Without an anchor piece, dollar bin knickknacks stay a pile on the floor instead of a display. A hutch gives every small, cheap find on this list somewhere to live. It's the difference between a room full of separate finds and a room that reads as one cohesive space. One antique store hutch, priced at $20, changed the entire trajectory of a room the moment it went into the corner. Every knickknack, every small lamp, every clearance find after that finally had a home waiting for it. Here's the fix. Budget for one larger anchor piece before you buy the small stuff. $20 to $30 for a single storage piece, a hutch, a small shelf unit, a stand, will do more for a bedroom than the same amount split across 10 small decor items. All 7 finds added together land under $75, and none of it depends on one specific room or one specific store. The same approach works whether you're starting with a bare rental or refreshing a room you've had for years. One anchor piece, a few small lit corners, and details that get better with a little patience at the clearance rack. The rooms that look expensive aren't the ones with the biggest budgets. They're the ones where every piece has somewhere to belong. Which of these would you try first in your own room? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If you want more budget glow-ups like this one, subscribe. There's a lot more of this coming. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.